Welcome back, everyone. So if you don't know what this show is, it's Home Affairs, where we make the family unit tighter. Indeed, I don't do this by myself. No, I don't. I mean, I have my awesome cameraman, my lighting guys, sound guys, props. I mean, everybody, contributes their quota to make sure that Home Affairs is just what you need. And I want to thank, obviously, the producer, director, Eunice, and Beatrice, and Ellen, and everybody who makes us very comfortable on set. Now, the two most important people today are in my studios. And the first I'm going to introduce you guys to has been on the show before. She's an amazing woman. She's strong. She's not just that. She's beautiful. So be prepared. If your screen is not, like angled right, you will just do yourself a lot of harm. Like, you need to see all this glory on my set today. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the gorgeous mother, wife, sister, friend, Mrs. Comfort Ocean.
The name is Okran. Thank you, Mouvie, for
Welcome
introducing
to the show.
me.
So yeah, wow. Oh my goodness. So that was the producer's fault. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very well. It's a pleasure to come back here.
Thank you so much. And how's the family?
The family is doing great.
Right.
Very well.
And I mean, the last time you came, you were very, very, profound with your words, advice, and everything. We got calls, to get you back on the show, and I guess that's why Eunice contacted you back.
Thank you for having me back.
Thank you.
I don't take it for granted at
all.
all.
Thank you. Now, when it comes to mentorship, obviously, a lot of people look for an older person who obviously has experience. Is it the only, group of people who can mentor anyone in this world?
Well, mentoring is a learning relationship. And you can either, you can learn through experience, and sometimes that can be very bitter, depending on the type of experience that you go through, or you can learn through the opportunity of just reflecting over things. So I can say that Isaac Newton, when he was sitting under the tree and the thing fell on his head, and he was thinking about it, why did this thing fall on my head? As he pondered over it, he came up with the law of gravity. So that was reflective. But you can also learn from learning from someone else. And the ideal thing is, if you're learning from someone, the person must have experienced it. And so you would presume that it implies that you would have a relationship with somebody who is older than you. So yes, not necessarily. So learning or mentoring is learning from somebody who is more experienced. The more experience does not necessarily mean the person is older than you. It may happen that in the majority thing, that means that that particular person may be older, but it doesn't mean. Because, for instance, if I want to learn about, let's say, something on the social media, something new coming up, I don't think if I go to my father can help me. He's in the grave anyway, so he's of no, other particular. But it's most likely that I'll go to somebody who is younger than me. But the person is more experienced in social media things. Therefore, mentoring is the opportunity to learn from someone who is experienced, more experienced in something, and therefore you get the knowledge or the skills that the person can pass on to you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Now, my next guest is a gentleman who is very knowledgeable about what he does. He is actually a lecturer at the Regent University, and he's obviously mentoring actually a lot of kids on a daily basis. Now, Mrs. Okran does that on a daily basis as well. I mean, she has a great foundation that's helping young people, old people, everybody in the world who basically needs a little advice. So make sure you're taking opportunity of this and calling in when we activate the phone line so you can get all your questions answered before they leave the set. All right, my next guest is Mr. Josiah Andor. Thank you for coming.
Thank you
for
having me. I'm doing well.
You look so dapper. Are you going to a wedding from here?
From here, I'm attending a graduation.
I knew it. Wow. You look very good. I'm sure your pictures are going to be all over social media today.
Well.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And I see a ring. I'm very nosy, by the way. Do forgive me. So you're obviously a husband.
Yes,
you have children?
I have one child.
Oh, how old?
1 year, 7 months.
Is it a boy or girl?
A girl.
Oh,
An
wow.
adorable girl.
Oh, I can see you are adorable yourself, so I can imagine your offsprings will be more adorable. But thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Like I said, mentorship is the topic of our discussion today. What do you have to say about it? I mean, if you had to explain to an 8-year-old what mentorship is and why they need it, what would you say to that 8-year-old?
My definition of mentorship is it's in line with what Mrs. Okran had said earlier, that mentorship is a learning relationship. So that is a relationship in which somebody learns from another person. But in this case, that person who is the mentor is more experienced,
Right.
and sometimes more knowledgeable in a particular area
Right.
of expertise. That is the simple description I will give to
That
the
8-year-old
concept of mentorship.
Okay. Now, who should you go for mentorship? Is it every single adult out there, or someone who has, obviously experience in a certain field or industry they're in that you run to for advice? Is it everybody that's eligible for, feeding?
Yes, in my opinion, mentorship is all around us. We get mentored by a lot of people, even when we do not know that we are being mentored. And we learn a lot from others. But I believe we are talking about a conscious effort to get mentorship. And in that instance, we are looking out for someone who has expertise in an area. So this person is an entrepreneur,
Right.
and I want to be an entrepreneur. So I want to learn from the person's success and the person's failure. I mean, it's very important because sometimes we think that mentorship is about learning only the success of the
Right.
person. But I believe that it also involves learning about the person's failure.
So you don't repeat them, right?
So you don't repeat them.
Right, I like that.
So you can learn it from anybody, but making a conscious effort to learn from someone implies that you look out for someone who has experience and someone who has knowledge in the area that you are going into.
Amazing, amazing. But would you say, Mrs. Okran, that mentorship these days is, sizzling out? Is it fizzling out, like fading? Is it dwindling? I mean, are we losing hope, or there's still hope?
Well, you see, mentorship can either be self-led, in terms of the fact that the individual decides that I need to get someone to help me in this particular field, and therefore seeks for somebody who can help him or her in that place. Or it can be something that is institutionalized, something that a company, for instance, says, okay, now we want all our young graduates who come into the company would want to identify the ones who are the potential for the future of this organization, and therefore these particular individuals, we will get people who have been in the company for some time to teach them and to show them what are the possible steps or how far the person can go. Now, mentorship, as you are saying just now, is dwindling or waning because people do not value the depth of knowledge that you can get from learning from someone else.
Right. Sometimes, so is it the mentee or the mentor who doesn't value the mentorship?
When we must all remember, mentorship is usually a mentee-driven activity.
Right.
So if the individual doesn't value the worth or the things that he or she can learn from someone else, the person doesn't seek for knowledge.
Right.
And if you don't seek for knowledge, you will perish. And therefore, mentorship is something that you, the individual, you see where you lack. Sometimes you may not even realize what you lack.
Exactly.
But if you are willing to learn and somebody comes your way, then you are open up to listen to what the person has to say. So mentorship mentorship must, number one, be a mentee-driven relationship.
Okay.
Number two, the person must be willing to submit him or herself to that relationship. Because if I come and say, Mauvie, you look so good on set, but you have to do this. And you're like, who do you think you are? I mean, all my good words, all my good intentions will go for nothing. So you must be willing to say, oh, really? What else do you think I should add? I mean, and that kind of stuff. So So it's something that can be even ramped up, and you will get more success if we are able to realize the role mentors play in our lives.
Wow. Now, I like what she just said, that it's mentee driven. But back in the day, in my mother's day, I mean, she said when a child did wrong, any adult could actually, step in, whether they want the discipline or not, they want to be punished or not. I mean, that any adult around, that child took the initiative to discipline that child. Are we losing our culture, or is it because everybody thinks they know too much? What is going on?
I like the last part of your submission. Everybody thinks they know too much. And for me, that is a reason why mentorship is dwindling. People have a sense of pride. And sometimes we think that we know more than even the people we are supposed to learn from. And it's something that is coming up in the youth. You go to an institution, somebody comes, a new employee, and the person is always criticizing, not even constructive criticizing the older folks.
Oh, really?
So always thinking that he knows best, and then it becomes a problem.
Right.
The next issue that I think I should mention is the fact that we have a certain PhD syndrome also amongst us. Yes, it's a mentee-driven venture, because it's a mentee who goes to a mentor and sometimes says, I want to learn from you.
Okay.
But we have some accomplished persons who have a PhD pull him down.
Oh boy.
Pull her down. So that I do not want you to come to my level. So I will not even help you up.
That's true. So wouldn't you say that that's the reason why a lot of young people these days don't seek out, help? Because there's a lot of, successful people who don't even give room for, young people they're not approachable.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah,
You're scared to even ask him, oh, please, how did you do this? Oh, please, how did you get here? And some of them, like you said, pull him down. They don't want you to get where they are, because you will probably come and, be more successful than them.
That's right.
So how do we deal with that situation?
Well, I think that we each have to be selfless. If I am selfless, I know that after succeeding, I should help another person to succeed. I should help another person to become like me, or another person to get to my level. Or we move together. Yeah, but sometimes because we are selfish, we want to get it all to ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's indeed a problem.
Oh, I can see you're not like that. So please, I'm coming for mentoring. I mean, whether you like it or not, I'm coming. But our issue today, well, we had a little note from Henry in Takoradi. I'm going to read it for you. It says, Dear Mouvie, throughout my career, I've been fortunate to have great mentors, like these two here in my seats today, who were ever willing to take a bet on me and provide meaningful opportunities for growth. These mentors have not only taught me about what is important both personally and professionally, they have also given me several big breaks. That's amazing. I want a mentor like that. The value of mentor or mentee relationship was always made clear to me each and every day. I know that I wouldn't be in the position I am today as the managing director of a bank if it weren't for the impact and guidance of my mentors. But surprisingly, one thing I've realized is the lack of enthusiasm that the youth of today tend to have about the concept of mentorship. I'm not sure if it's simply a millennial trait or lack of submissiveness, but I've never once had a friend actively seek out for formal mentorship from senior members before. If I could advise young professionals, mentors aren't going to go out of their way to drag someone along if they don't show initiative, and mentorship is something that requires strong commitment from both, get this, both parties. With a lot of effort, I can personally attest to the fact that the lessons, connections, and opportunities that mentors provide are invaluable. It's up to you, however, to ask and take advantage of what mentors can offer Henry in Takoradi, thank you so much. So that wasn't a real problem, but he's obviously concerned about the youth of today. Mrs. Okran, what do you deduce from what Henry has just said, though?
I think it's talking about what we've discussed earlier, and I would also say that, I mean, if we let me bring in a biblical example, and we've written a book on mentorship anyway, but let me bring in a mentoring for success. Here we are. You have Elijah. Elisha was doing his stuff, and he was successful. He had 12 cattle. That means that he was doing very well. And then Elijah comes and says, "Okay, throws his thing and says, come after me." And says, and then Elisha leaves his stuff and is following Elijah. And Elijah said, "What are you here for?" Now here is a typical person who is doing something and he thinks he's okay, and then he gets an insight. He says, "Oh, okay, there's a higher calling," and so he says, "I'm going to pursue this higher calling." Yet the mentor says that, do you really want to testing him? Now, if you start a mentoring relationship and you get harsh words from your mentor, and therefore you say, you know what, I was sitting my somewhere, and then you said, oh, you can help me with this. So if you're giving me information and you think that I'm going away, and that is what the attitude of some people are. The fact that the person says that, okay, let me help you, the person may not be available based on certain things, or the person is testing how willing you are. There's this principle of 3, whereby you may approach somebody the first and the person turns you away. Second time, the person turns you away. The third time, you'll be lucky. But once
Wow. But why do they have to?
Principle of 3, always keep it in mind. So, no, how committed are you to the relationship?
Wow.
If you are not committed to the relationship, why should I waste my time on somebody who is not willing to put the things that I ask him or her to do into practice? And therefore, mentorship is a commitment, and the commitment must be total, and you must be willing to go through or to learn or to apply the things that you are taught. Our great
Is that biblical?
It is not only biblical, but you see it.
No.
Mike Tyson became who he is because he was discovered by someone. It is said that his downhill started when that guy died. I've forgotten his name. But going downhill whereby he was going to all sorts of troubles. Started when his mentor died. But if he hadn't been discovered on the streets, hadn't been held up, hadn't been shown how to do the boxing, we wouldn't have been known about him. Neither would we have been able to talk about him today.
Right.
Michael Jackson didn't start by himself. He was singing all right, doing all right, until he was spotted.
He was forced into it though by dad.
No, well, but then they were still singing on the small stage.
That was child labor, by the way.
If Quincy Jones hadn't discovered that this guy, out of the 5 guys, the 5 guys were all good, but this one had something special, and that was Quincy Jones spotting him and saying that, look, guy, let me help you.
Yeah. So there are some great mentors like Quincy, right?
Yes,
they pull you. You don't have to seek it.
No, you don't have to seek it. But if they pull you and you are not willing, it ain't gonna happen.
Right.
If you must be willing, and that is what. And sometimes you look at the mentor, you see that the mentor may be having some issues in his or her life, and you say, "Oh, can this drunkard help me?" Yes, the person may be drunk, but the person may be one of the best scientists in the world. So he will go and take his alcohol, all right, but we'll put him behind the formulas, and he just does magic.
Wow. So maybe you might think that's actually an antidote for his intelligence, the alcohol, and you might also want to do it.
No.
We emulate what our mentors do.
You learn the good parts, and then you shun the bad parts. You don't learn everything from the mentor. And I would advocate that you should have mentors in different fields. So maybe you should have a mentor in your professional life, a mentor in your home life, because doesn't mean the person who is doing it professionally is doing well on that side.
That's so true. Yeah, just please.
Yeah, but it's something that I sometimes we are tempted to pick up almost everything from the person that we pick as a mentor. And so I have always told my students, they ask me, is it good to have a mentor? Say, yeah, sure. But I will say, don't just pick one. And even if you have picked one, don't just take everything from the person.
Right.
The person may be a great, in ministry, the person may be a great pastor, but he may not be a wonderful husband.
Right.
And
Pastors
so,
are human, though. Let's
Sure.
not forget that. Sometimes we put too much pressure on them. You're a pastor, so you have to.
exactly. And so, young pastors say, "Oh, this is my spiritual father,"
Right.
and then he takes everything from him.
Hook, line, and
Like
sinker.
how?
Hook, line, and sinker,
Eish.
so that he preaches like him. He sometimes preaches his own sermons, and in terms of the way he handles his marriage, he does same.
Wow.
But perhaps that person is a great preacher, but maybe not the kind of husband that you should be. And of course, he has his flaws. And so you don't just take everything about if you are taking a mentor, you should look out for, what am I picking from this person?
Right.
Professional excellence, or maybe sometimes you can just pick a mentor on even the way you dress.
Wow.
Just
My
that.
mama, she taught me well, didn't she? Don't you see?
Yeah, so a young lady can say, I want to dress like Movie, and that is just
I get that all the time. I said they should go and see my mama. I can't mentor them. Is it okay to push your mentor onto friends and family, though?
It is okay in mentorship to do what we call to refer, referral.
Okay.
Perhaps, the person wants to learn something from you.
Right.
You learned it from someone who is better,
Right.
and so you refer. But that does not mean you push the person off completely.
Okay.
Because maybe your referral, the person may not be able to help as much as you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so it is good to refer, but that does not mean pushing off completely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So on that note, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, though, my first question will be that, can a Christian, so please, Mrs. Sokran and Mr. Andor, can a Christian have a Muslim or an imam as a mentor and vice versa? Think about it. We're not making this, religious, but we just want to know which way to go. Don't go nowhere. It's still Home Affairs. Mentorship is the topic. Coming back with your voice being heard right here on this platform. Welcome back, everyone. And if you don't know where this is, come on, you see my set, my beautiful set by my prop guys. It is Home Affairs right here on Joy Prime Multi TV. Many thanks to GTP. Without them, the show wouldn't run on a weekly basis. This is where we need a lot of companies, a lot of brands to come and support so we can educate people, make their lives better. We're talking about the youth not doing the right thing these days. Well, the only way we can impact in their lives positively is by educating. So please, come on board, support Home Affairs so we can keep this train moving. Anyway, the phone lines have been activated right now, and I want you to call in with your questions. It hurts me that people don't see a good thing when it's glaring in their faces. Really? I want to take them home, and you are waiting? You better be calling right now, 0302-211-70124. That's 0302-211-701, 702, 3, and 4. All right. Now, I had a question in mind, and I want to ask this. You said something very interesting when we were on the break. I wanted to ask you whether it's okay to look up to, another religion for mentorship. One person that I think is amazing, anytime he steps in a conflicted area, everything just calms down. Sheikh Dr. Usmanu Nuhu Shaributu. Amazing man. What do you think about religion and mentorship?
Well, I think that every religious thought most religious thoughts seek to give people guidance for life. Of course, I believe that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life.
Yeah.
But I've actually had the opportunity of going to a mosque before, and what I loved most about what it afforded me is to see people, seeking their God in a way that they showed utmost respect for the person. So it taught me the need to revere my maker. I also enjoyed the modesty that they had. Sometimes when I see some young ladies dressing, I'm like, okay, you could actually go back to the 3,000 or 200 years ago when we're walking naked, and just decide that, okay, you're going that way. But please, let's do everything decently and in order. So if you're coming to church and you come to church in a very short, are you coming to worship, or you are coming to what else? What is your? So I think we can learn from each other, but always know what and that's about openness, because let me say that being in a mentoring relationship implies that you are listening and you are hearing and you are seeing which aspects will help or lead you or make you better person than you are. If the person is telling you to go and kill someone, definitely that is not helping, and therefore you won't do that. But if it's telling you that, look at your body and worship, not worship, but then respect your body. What's wrong with that?
Right. We have Inusa on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. What do you have to add or ask?
Yes, I just want to add. I'm calling from Takrady. My name is Jinisha.
Thank you for joining. What's your submission, please?
Yes, earlier on, the male part, he made some submission about pulling him
Mr.
down.
Andor, Mr. Josiah Andor.
Very good, Mr. Andor. Yes, I want to add to that part and now the religious aspect of it.
Okay.
They pull him down. Sometimes some mentors, the mentor will see a mentee and identify some potentials. You don't need to approach him or her. You can sit behind and actually see some few things you can learn from him or her. And that, I think, helps. That is to solve the problem of pulling him down.
So the mentee should just observe.
My boss in my office, yes.
Okay.
The boss in my office, in fact, that's excellent. And there are a lot I pick from him. I have never approached him.
That's a good one. So silent mentee, that's silent
like
mentorship for, your own self. I like that.
Then you are achieving those things that you think is good in him. And that will also solve the problem of not taking holistic mentorship.
Right.
Aspects that you think is not good for him, you leave them aside. Yes. And with the religious aspect, for instance, I don't think there should be any religious barrier in mentorship. I'm looking at you here. Listen to my name, you know where I'm coming from. Because I know you are a Christian. If I should see anything good in you that I feel is good, I have to pick it. Irrespective of wherever you come from, whether you are a Christian, whether you are from Bota region and from Takrady or from Northern region. No,
I like you already. It
doesn't matter that way.
When are you coming to Accra?
I'm calling from Takrady, but I'm in North now.
When are you coming to Accra?
Well, I don't have any
plans here. Oh, what a shame. It would have been nice to have you in my studios one day. But thank you so much, and God bless you. May Allah bless you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So don't forget, it's 0302-211-70124. Michael Botting. There you go. Okay. So I have a few messages. Maybe I can read a few, but don't forget, you can still call in. This one here is from one of my Facebook fans. It says, okay, who exactly should you seek for mentorship when it comes to your finances?
You could, I mean, you remember he was talking about learning from failure as well as from success. So both ways. So look for somebody who has been successful in growing his or her money, and look for somebody who has failed, and find out what didn't work and what worked, and then learn from them.
Right. Yeah. Now, are there any rules? I mean, when it comes to the mentor and mentee relationship, are there any rules that people should automatically know? They shouldn't be told, what to do. It should come natural. It shouldn't. It's not. Okay, you go.
Yeah. When Inusa called, he talked about silent mentorship. So you see the person, you like him, and then you silently pick up lessons.
Right.
It works, but you don't get everything. Sometimes you approach the person, and if he is willing, he will give you some tips.
He or she.
He or
she
exactly.
Be overflowing without being asked, though. Don't you think so?
The tips should work that way, but you see, we've already identified this thing to be mostly a mentee, driven thing. Right. So that you go to the person,
Right.
you ask questions, and then the person, gives you questions, answers that will make you. Of course, they pull him down is there, but I believe I believe that our mentors will not pull us down, but will rather pull us up with them.
Okay, we have Samuel on the line. Good morning, welcome. Samuel, my time is very limited, so I don't really like it. Hello. Okay. So let's. Welcome back. So now you can call in. Samuel, I want to hear your voice. Please call right now and ask the question that you had on your mind. It's 0302-211-70124. That's 0302-211-70124. Mrs. Okran, you were saying something about the rules. Please enlighten us. I don't want to keep all the the tips you just gave me. I'm telling you, I'm going to use this.
I was talking about confidentiality. Confidentiality in the terms of the fact that when the mentee tells you something, the person, you have to keep that. Sometimes too, as a person, the mentor lets you into his or her life. You come to see things that the ordinary person doesn't see on the street. You are not at liberty to say, this person that you've been seeing that you think is a big person, you know that he or she does this. No. Immediately you do that, you will attract quote unquote a curse. One of the reasons why Noah cursed one of his children was that the child came and saw him naked and went and broadcast it.
Oh my goodness, we have a Nigerian call. Hello, good morning. I'm sorry, Mrs.
Go on.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm on Niger. What's your name? Oh, that was hurtful.
Yeah.
Very painful. Yes, please continue.
And then also, he had a trust. The fact that if I, the mentee, come and tell you things, sometimes because you trust your mentor, you tell the person things. And once the person has trusted you with some information, you must make sure that you keep that trust and you don't break the information. Or the person says, I'm going to do a new business venture. Then you, as a mentor, you start it. No. You steal the idea. That's the
concept thieves. Anyway, my last question. Please, what about mentors who abuse their mentees? They know they're going to, they're feeding them some knowledge. And so, come and wash my things on Saturday. And on Sunday too, you clean my car.
But you have to.
Yeah, of course, there's a lot of abuse. There's a lot of abuse. When in Henry's letter, he mentioned, I think, it demands commitment from both parties. Yes, you once the mentor is not committed to mentoring the person, then he's likely to abuse it.
Wow.
So he's not committed.
Oh, gosh.
He's not committed to instilling into you what you are looking out for.
So you should run.
And so you will wash his car. You will carry his clothes to the laundry or wash them yourself and all that. There's a lot of that. But for me, what I would tell any mentee who goes through abuse of mentorship, look out for what you are looking for. Yes, you can do the dirty job.
But when you say that, there's some form of abuse that shouldn't actually be
of course.
tolerated.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Sexual advantages.
Exactly.
That some
that one you cannot tolerate it.
Not just girls, women do it too, apparently.
Exactly. So that is not tolerable at all. Right. And of course, for me, I would say report to the police if it gets to that point.
Thank you. You guys have been amazing. We should do part 2 of this. Mrs. Okran, please, your closing remarks on mentorship.
I would say that mentorship is a fantastic program. If you identify someone who has skills or knowledge or abilities that you would like to emulate or you would like to inculcate in your life and make your life better, I'll say approach the person. If the person is willing to help you on your journey of becoming a better person, do take the lessons that are learned, and please remember to have trust in between both the mentor and the mentee. And once you are able to do it, who knows, we might even see the next Billie Jane going on.
Mr. Andor, please.
Yes, I think I would talk to the mentors. This is mentee driven, but you who has accomplished something, pick somebody up so that when you are gone, we will get someone like you.
Thank you so much. Okay, my submission basically is be submissive. Okay, humility is not stupidity, especially when you're getting, advice for free. Make sure you are taking advantage of it. Don't abuse it, respect the person, like they said, trust them. And everything that they tell you should be kept in confidentiality. Man, I want to thank every single person who makes this possible. GTP New Style, Elite Hair Studios, Eno for my hair, my clothes, Barbara Johnson on the Twin Six Road, but the fabric is GTP. I know, you thought it was Western, right? Yeah. I love it. But make sure you're catching me Mondays to Fridays, 5:30 to 6 p.m. right here on Joy Prime Multi TV. My name is Movi, the Motivator. And like my mom always says, take criticism from somebody who has constructed something. Have a wonderful day.
Uninspired by women, cut not the wings of your dreams, for they are the heartbeat and the freedom of your soul. Flavia.